the biggest stories. Catch it all Monday through Friday on FS1. Speaking of big stories, KD going to be teammates with Kyrie in Brooklyn, but he apparently could have paired up with Kawhi. Our friend Rick Bucher reported that KD was open to teaming up with Kawhi. Problem is, KD wanted to do it with the Knicks, and Kawhi wanted to do it on the opposite coast with the Clippers. Rick's still hanging with us this morning. So do you think KD made the right choice here?
He wanted to play with his friend, and he wanted to live where he wanted to live. Those were the factors, and he accomplished that. He and Kyrie have been talking about this since 2016 when they played on the Summer Olympics in Rio. So I can't sit here and say that he made a mistake if that's what he wanted ultimately at this point in his career. Do I think it's going to work? No, I haven't liked that combo as a combo that's going to win championships since it was first broached that they might play together. But if that's not the driving factor here, if he has his rings, and if for the first time he says, and this is quite honestly, my first thought was when I heard that Kawhi and KD were talking, my first thought was, well, how does Kyrie feel about this? And then I was told, Kyrie knows about it. Like, these guys are all talking. And this is what is the real shift in the NBA, is that I give Sean Marks all the credit in the world as the GM for the Nets for what he has built there and what they accomplished last season and some of the dead weight that he's moved. But this was really all about the players making their decision. Ultimately looking at it, what do I want to do? Where do I want to play? Who do I want to play with? As opposed to the teams making a pitch and saying, this is the new NBA.
Yep.
And we all measure it by teams trying to build championship teams. There's just some elements here that are at play that don't fit the normal profile.
I've been telling you this, Skip. The way mom and pop's teams used to do business, they don't do it that way anymore. Players are saying, we're going to build a team. I want to play.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with KD because, Skip, at the end of the day, he had to be happy where he was. Because in Golden State, it seems like he was never happy. So now, finally, he finds peace. Going to Brooklyn, and maybe he's happy now. Maybe this is the place that he needed to be.
I hope he's happy.
I hope he's happy also.
He wasn't happy in Oklahoma City. He wasn't happy in Golden State.
So maybe he's happy here.
Yeah.
Skip, look, I've always liked small big man pairing. I like guard center. I like that pair. I like Shaq Kobe as opposed to another Kobe playing alongside Kobe or another Shaq playing alongside Shaq. I like the big, but I can see Kawhi and KD playing together. But it was not going to work because KD didn't want to be on the West Coast.
Okay,
he's like, I've spent 3 years in Golden State. I'm good. Northern California is good enough for me. I don't need to go to Southern California to find out whether or not do I like California.
Well, he had two houses here, and now he's got one house.
Right.
So it's not like he doesn't know L.A.
Right.
He's off-season here every off-season.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he'd set up all his businesses. I mean, Kyrie and he have talked as much about how they're going to operate as business partners as anything else.
Right.
And had bought new space for his business enterprise. So being in New York was the thing that he really wanted. And I'm not sure how far that conversation went with Kawhi. I think it was broached. I think they were open to it. But when they really came down to, I think for Kawhi, if I would do this, I would only do it here.
Right.
And KD, well, if I would do this, it would only be here. So I don't know that conversation went very far, but I do find it fascinating that that's where the real conversations are happening, on the players' text strings.
I got that. But if Kevin Durant, at this stage and age of his career, wanted to maximize his potential for winning titles, he would have joined number 2 on the Clippers because number 2 is better than Kyrie. Wouldn't we agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Right? Are the Clippers at least an equal organization to the Nets? Have the Clippers built, it's a more of a veteran roster, but a roster that is at least as deep and good as the Nets roster?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So if you put KD and number 2 on the Clippers, does that not change the whole NBA landscape? Does that not decide the near future of championships?
And to your point, you have, and I love what Kenny Atkinson has done with the Nets, but you have a coach in Doc Rivers who's demonstrated that he can win a championship.
Yep.
He has coached top talent. That's That's really one of the unforeseen elements to this is how is Kenny had a bunch of guys that wanted to make good. A bunch of no names, to be honest with you, or guys that were trying, like D'Angelo Russell, trying to redeem their reputations. Coaching talent is a whole other animal.
Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen dealing with Rondo. So he knows what it's like to have two superstar players. And we hear that a lot, that feel, okay, the triangle was fine, but how do you manage Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Michael Jordan? How do you manage that? Steve Kerr.
Kobe and Shaq.
Doing all that behind the scenes, Skip. That's where it comes in at. You got to be a teacher. You got to be a coach. You got to be a psychiatrist. You got to be a homeboy. You got to be a parent. You got to do all those things. There's a lot of hats to wear. But we're going to get Kawhi.
Okay.
All that going to be moot.
But again, Kevin Durant finally chose not Knicks, because he could have gone Knicks by himself or maybe with somebody else, but he couldn't talk number 2 into coming to Knicks. But he chose to follow his best friend to Brooklyn, right? Yeah. And it was in large part a friendship move. And it was, hey, I just won 2 championships with 2 finals MVPs, so I'm good kind of a move, where we just said, okay, I'm good. And he's obviously can't play next year. And God bless Kyrie next year with that group, because that's going to be a tough run, man.
Yeah.
And if they make it through that year, then how will he fit with Kyrie? I don't know, because they're both injury prone, but you took a big risk to do that. You basically, I told you the other day, it felt a little bit like a semi-retirement move. Not that he's semi-retired, but it's like, I did that. I'm going to rest on my laurels. Yes, KD.
Yeah, well, and the other element here is, while everybody is optimistically saying he'll be close to what he was previously, KD doesn't know that. So, like, planning on the idea that I'm just going to be back in championship form, there's some other